Secondly, beach on the square. To consider the creation of a beach on the square for the site. Information to follow. Okay.
So this was a suggestion that just cropped up at the end of the last events committee meeting. So that was the end of last week. So we said we'd just bring it back to this meeting for some consideration. I have spoken to Wellingborough, who do this most years, and Northampton Borough Council, because they often have a beach in the summer on their market square as well. It's obviously a bigger town, so they're doing it to a larger scale. They've put me in touch with Wellingborough, use a contractor to carry out the work and install the beach, and that costs around £12,000 per year for the beach in Wellingborough. So just so you're aware. The one in Northampton, they operate slightly differently, and it's actually one of the market traders organises it for, who also has a couple of small rides that he puts on their market square, because obviously it's a larger space for the summer. So he puts a couple of rides on for the summer, they stay there for the summer, he takes the income, in return for which he provides the beach that's on the market square in Northampton. That's, I haven't personally seen the one in Wellingborough. The one in Northampton, just a square, load of sand, buckets and spades, and deck chairs around it, quite straightforward, and that costs a few thousand to operate for the summer.
The Wellingborough way is actually fairly similar, as you just described it.
There's catering as well, they do.
Yeah. I haven't spoken to catering yet, but from the bit of Google researching I've done, there's only, if you're going for a contractor, there's only a few to go for. So it's quite a significant.
Councillor Hughes.
Well, I was thinking about the ice cream van. If we could get the ice cream van to kind of sponsor, because obviously if you want to pretend that was seaside, you want an ice cream van, don't you? So if as part of the deal they can come, they part sponsor this beach, it'd be an ideal solution.
That's not a bad idea. I suspect that the ice cream man will only be able to provide a drop in the ocean rather than the pub. Councillor Beck.
Would this be under the
Oh, this is quite funny actually.
Would this be under the covered seating area, or as you look at the covered seating area from the Raunds cottage, would it be to the right of that where the sort of play equipment is at the minute? Because my concern would be if it's in the square.
No, we wouldn't lose any parking spaces. The idea would be to have it in that area. There's no exact location pinpointed, but it would be within the play space and community space rather than in a parking space.
Councillor Hunt.
In principle, I think it's a very good idea. Obviously, it would be a great attraction for the young children and mums over the summer. And referring to the next item on the agenda, it would all sit in very well. I do have reservations about the costs. I think we should investigate it, whether it goes to the events committee to look at costings and then bring it back to full council. We are slightly short on time this year, so even if we aren't able to do it this year, because we probably haven't budgeted for it, it's something that we could certainly look at doing next year and make sure that we put it within our budget to do so. But in principle, absolutely agree. I think it's a very good idea.
Sounds sensible. Councillor Dunn.
Probably something for the events committee as well. The supplier sand now, I know Northampton when they started theirs in Kettering, they used local building suppliers to supply the sand, who took it away afterwards. Would it be worth having a look at sponsors to drop the sand off, like the Chelmsford Mill one, Howden's, suppliers, anything like that? The who else we got? Higgins, Mick George.
Well, I must admit, £12,000 seems an awful lot of money just to dump a load of sand in June and then take it away in October. So I agree. Councillor Wills.
Thanks. Well, I think it's a great idea, and in fact, it's got quite a lot of traction online. There's a lot of people saying they want to do it. I'm sure the traction wouldn't be quite so great if people thought it was going to cost £12,000. But it doesn't stop it being a good idea. We are really short of time. Of course, for future years, we could potentially look at applying for funding. But I think Howden's and Wroxall owe this town something. So I'd like to propose that actually we are short of time, that you as the mayor write to Howden's. They are just up the road. They've got a whole load of building equipment coming in. I think we should write to them and say we would like to ask them to sponsor it this year.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because when I went to the football club on Saturday, the prizes and awards were actually sponsored by Howden's, and their HR lady was there, and she's going to contact me.
So if they could sponsor 10 tons of sand, it'd be fun.
Absolutely. 10
It's
tons.
got to be special sand.
I was just about to say, actually, the last thing we want is build a sand because we'll have a lot of orange children running around the town. So it has to be specialist sand. So as you know,
It has to be
that
covered
is
at
the
night,
problem.
orange
Yeah,
children,
yeah.
insurance, you've got.
Yeah, it does have to be
Yeah.
specialist playing
Okay.
sand
It
that
does,
you
yeah.
get, yeah, not just from a building site.
Well, okay, we have a proposal to
Yeah.
try and address this year, which we'll come back to if we may. But I agree about the fact that time is short. Is the events committee the right committee, or would it be another one to consider?
Leisure.
Fine.
An event.
Well, it's just that Sandy mentioned events, but no, I agree. On reflection, it is probably ELR. I don't think enthusiastic.
The next ELR meeting is mid-late July, which would be too late to consider it
For this year,
anything
so
this
Ideal for
year.
next year.
Hang on. Keep going. So when's
So
the next
the
event?
next events committee is at the end
27th
of June. So in terms of time scales,
I don't mind one way or the other.
Your choice.
Can I
I
say-
propose that one, when we remove the animals, which I'm only going to do because you want to put other equipment in there, we work out how we put the sandpit in there. So that next year we work with the people who do this thing, so that we make the space right in terms of, and so that next year we could possibly do it. I think it's too sharp this year, and I think there's issues about insurance, there's about covering it, what supervision you're going to have, who's going to check it, because you've obviously got to check that nobody leaves glass in it overnight, because people do nasty things, I think there's all sorts of issues around it that we perhaps need to investigate. But I think it's a good idea, don't get me wrong, but I think next year would be the more appropriate time.
So do you want me to write to
I
Council?
think
Council?
Actually, I was going to say twofold really. I think the first thing, I agree with Councillor Wilkes. I think we should write to Howden's and say that this has been well supported by the residents of Raunds, and would they like to get involved and do something themselves. If we get no joy from them, then I think we should plan and put it to the right committee and go for funding or do whatever we need to do within our budget to try and produce it next year. But it's definitely worth approaching House and see if they'll take it on lock, stock and barrel and get it done. Do you see what I mean?
Absolutely, right.
Yeah.
If they'll take the risk and
Yeah,
the cost, I
exactly.
agree with that. Well, as I say, I have a line in with Howden, so I'll, so to speak, I will pursue that at the earliest opportunity. So coming back, so assuming they didn't do that, is it going to go to ELR? Is that what we decided in the end?
I agree.
Given that it's not quite so time constrained as we first thought, or at least when you first raised it.
Just to quickly add on, just to quickly add what Dudley was saying about the checking it, and like that could be done with the supervisors when they do their checks and parks, couldn't they? Could they go?
well, that's only done. It needs to be planned
Yeah.
because those checks are normally done weekly, so
Okay.
we'd have to do it every day. So that's just part of the risk assessment and planning process for it.
Okay.
But
Councillor Wilson.
So I know, just to try and sell my proposal, because I need a second, I think we should officially do it. I think really, it's a great idea. We as a council want to do it. Time is too short to do it this year, clearly. So I think when you speak to Hounds, we need to emphasise to Hounds that we want to do it, the town wants us to do it, and they are our last hope. If they say no, it won't happen this year. Because it really won't.
Yeah.
They could make it happen this year. The council would love to make it happen, but can't. So I think we just need to emphasise that, because they need to know it's serious and not just something they can think about for a month.
Well, as I say, I did get the impression at this meet on Saturday night, and we hadn't been drinking, not at that point. But they were serious. I wanted to do something for the community.
Great.
So that's good.
It's just if you probably can only go to the old well once, and would that be the best option for us? Looking at an event on the town, or would it be better for us to look at something perhaps to support on a larger event?
That's a good point. Well, why don't you leave it up to my discretion when I talk to them?
Oh, well,
We'll see how we go. See how we go.
That's a good point.
It is a good.
I think we're- it to be a one-off.
No, I totally agree. Particularly as they're one of the top 100 companies in the world. In the country.
Christmas lights.
Okay.